So, welcome to the review of the second day's play between India and England in the final fourth and final Test match. It was a great day's play, plenty of ups and downs, and at one stage England made a comeback into the game and were even on top. But an outstanding innings by Rishabh Pant has put India in a dominant position, and one it looks like where England doesn't look like they're going to be able to come back into this game. But just a quick recap: India started the day on 24 for 1. It was Rohit Sharma and Pujara. Again, Leach has got Pujara's wicket in the bag every time. It looks like he's got a technical problem and he keeps on getting LBW bowled. Kohli got an outstanding delivery from Stokes. The one that just from a length just shot up and there's nothing much you can do. Is caught behind. And again, India were 40 for 3. The wickets after that, wickets steadily carried on coming with that. The next one to go was Rahane just before lunch, and India 80 for 4 were looking in trouble. Rohit Sharma, again, it looked pretty good throughout the day. He couldn't really score as quickly as he has done before. And so England always, kept the run rate in check. Once he was dismissed and Ashwin was dismissed, India were 146 for 6. And at that stage, it really did look like, England could take even a first innings lead and potentially go on to even win the game, even though there was still a lot of cricket to play. But as I said, after tea, it was an amazing innings by Rishabh Pant. We'll talk about that more in detail. Him and Sundar put on a partnership of, I think, a 113-run partnership, and which in the context of the game and the series took it away from England. Pant was dismissed after hammering the England bowlers for an amazing ton. And India have ended the day on 294 for 7 with a lead of 89. So before we just go on further, now I want to introduce our special guest. His name's Faraz, Mohammed Faraz. I think everyone knows him in Derby especially. He's a massive England fan. So welcome to the show, first of all, Faraz. And
hi, guys.
And yeah, so hi. So looking at the game situation now, what do you think, first of all, happened in the day's play, and what do you think is going to happen going forwards?
Well, just to recap what happened yesterday as well, from the start of the game. Good toss to win for England for a start. Obviously, last Test match, it was a good toss to win because obviously you want to bat first on those kind of tracks, and get the score on the board. They should have got more runs. Didn't really watch much of the first session yesterday because I had to go to the airport to drop my mum and dad off.
Okay.
But when I came back, obviously it was a bit too late. So, they should have got more runs, which they didn't. Obviously, didn't really watch the highlights as well. To be fair, so I've been watching.
No, you're not a very good England fan here, Faraz. Maybe you're just scared of seeing the dismissals.
Are you just an England fan by name, are you, Faraz? You're coming onto the show and you've not watched anything.
No, I was just really busy yesterday.
You didn't watch the highlights. Did you watch the lowlights?
I don't watch many highlights that England do bad in. So.
Oh, so you don't watch many then.
So you're admitting they've done bad, yeah?
So, yeah, they've not done great, to be fair. 200 on that wicket, which I saw clips of, which the wicket didn't really look that bad, to be fair, on the first day. It still doesn't look that bad. But good bowling, I guess, from both teams, especially today from England. I was very, very impressed with Ben Stokes. I honestly thought England were a seamer short this Test match.
I don't think you're the only
I don't think you said that at the beginning, but
at one point for 140 odd for 6, they were looking actually that that their selection might be justified. But again, with Pant coming in and just dominating, it just goes to show England maybe were a seamer light, and you can't take anything away from Pant. To be fair, it was amazing batting. It really was.
It looked like he's batting on a different pitch. So, Badri, just talking about, Faraz mentioned Stokes, he was outstanding. But what do you think of the wisdom in giving Ben Stokes a 10-over spell in the first session of day 2, knowing that obviously potentially it could be a 4 or 5 day Test match with his body as well, and you've only got 2 seamers? What do you think the wisdom in that was? Do you reckon he put all his eggs in one basket too early in the game?
What happens is, Bobo, this has stemmed previously, if you think about it. England are almost playing catch up in every test. They're doing something what India showing England how to do better the next test. And what I mean by that, Bobo, is in terms of bowling on day one, for example, on if you lose the toss and bowl,
Yeah.
England let India off, but in the second match, but India didn't. And in terms of batting with a longer batting lineup, England obviously had the batting but never did it. India have just shown in this innings. Now going back to Stokes's question is what you asked. I'm just trying to put a bit of context into the thing. What I'm trying to. In terms of Stokes's, they had no choice, Bobo. He had no choice. What choice did he have? When you go in with 8 batsmen and your 9th is your all-rounder with best, and you've only got 1 recognised seamer, what are you supposed to do? Who are you supposed to turn to? The thing is here, Stokes has probably bowled more today than he has in the whole
The
series.
entire
Three
series.
games.
Yeah, he bowled 15
games.
overs in the series so far.
Stokes, look, the thing is, Stokes, when he gets it right, we know he's devastating bowler. He's shown it previously in England, and he's done spells elsewhere as well, whether it be in South Africa, he's done it, The thing is, you're expecting someone to turn it on all of a sudden like a light switch. It's not going to happen. And you're asking him to bowl, like I said, so many overs. That 10-over spell, I mean, people might think 10 overs is not a lot. It's actually a heck of a lot for even a bowler in form. And it's like almost bowling like 17, 18 overs for a guy who's not bowled previously this many overs in the whole 3 matches before. So I think Stoke had no option. This is sort of,
I'm not talking about Stokes.
Because the selection, Bobo, it ultimately goes down to...
It does come down to the selection, but what I'm saying is, okay, fair enough, England have misread the conditions again. It seems like they picked the ideal team for the 3rd test match, and for the 3rd test match, the ideal team would have been for this test match. So they got it wrong way around.
This is what I'm saying again, and Faraz might,
that's what I was going to come on to Faraz.
They're almost playing catch up, but they're getting it. It's almost like, how can I give an example? So it's almost like an umpire, giving one bad decision, but he doesn't say that's a bad decision, that's fine, but he gives another bad decision to cover up that bad decision. And it's almost like a snowball effect. And what happens is, in the end, everything that you're trying is not working. And I just feel they've missed so many tricks, and I'm sure we'll come on to it.
But Joe Root has, as you guys probably know, I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Root's captaincy in terms of tactical. I'm not talking about his batting here. But Faraz, I've got the question for you. At tea time, India were 150 for 6. They're still 50 odd runs behind, and on this pitch,
46 for 6. I know.
50 odd runs behind, but it does have to. So at that stage, if I'm the captain Root, I'm thinking, okay, again, we know what we're going to do with the bat. We're not going to go there and get 400 runs in our second inning. So every run is valuable. Now I've used Ben Stokes for 10 overs, and I've used him again in the second session. I've used Anderson a lot. Now he comes out after tea. If I'm in Joe Root's position, I'm thinking I need to get these 4 wickets as quickly as possible. I'm not.
You start with your best bowlers, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. No, but so I'm thinking I need to get these 4 batsmen out. I'm not planning for the second new ball, which is 2 hours away. I need to get these 4 wickets. Now, on what planet? I understand this argument about 2 left-handers. On what planet would you start with Dom Bess and Joe Root at such a crucial situation in the game, but both batsmen are not really set anyway? So, can you please explain what Joe Root was thinking in that situation?
I agree. I agree completely with you there. You start with your best options. After every session, it's a no-brainer. Jack Leach was underbowled. 100%. 100% underbowled. I would have started off with a seamer. Maybe Stokes or Anderson. I don't mind. Maybe for a 2 or 3 over spell. But definitely 100%. I would have started off with Jack Leach. He was definitely underbowled in that session.
And what do you think? Obviously, he was underbowled throughout the day, but I don't understand. Obviously, Rishabh Pant hit him for 4 or 5 sixes in the first Test match, when basically the match was against India and he just came out and batted carefree, which he does that anyway. But also, Leach got him out with him charging down the wicket in the same Test match, stumped. Now, so I don't understand. Is Joe Root so scared, or is Leach so scared to bowl at Pant that they pretty much decided that, okay, whenever Pant comes in, sorry, Leach, you can't bowl? Because remember this, Leach got Ashwin, dismissed Ashwin, and he didn't even come on to bowl another over after that. That's how poor it was. He did not even come on to bowl another over to Sundar. It just does not make sense. Now, do you think that was for me? It looks like it was. Do you think that was a key point where after tea, obviously Dom Bess is bowling pies again. We'll come on to him in a second. Do you think that's where the game started to slip away from England?
No, I mean, with Pant, we know what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the first Test match, from what I saw, I've not really seen much of Pant. To be honest, he came last summer to England. Was it a couple of summers ago to England?
He scored 100, didn't he? He scored 100. I think.
He showed glimpses of what he can do, but this series I've actually seen in full of what kind of a talent the guy is.
Yeah.
And he's proved he's an amazing talent and he's one for the future. But then again, I think England with captaincy with Root, he was very 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 wary of Pant, maybe too wary of him. You especially after tea when you've got them for 140 odd for 6.
Yeah.
You've got to seize that. You've got to seize that moment. You've got to attack.
Yeah.
The series was there to be.
He was on the line,
there,
you're right, in that situation.
I mean, that's a very good point, Frazee, yeah, that you made there, because see, yesterday I thought, you know what, India will get a 150 lead by the close of play. And
Yeah.
I thought Kohli was going to go big and get a score. The fact that you controlled the run rate and you got him down to 140 for 6. And with Pant, like Bobo said, he only knows one way. And he is an X Factor player. He is an X Factor player. He is an X Factor player. But with them type of players, they'll give you a chance. And he's going to carry on his way. He's going to counter attack. He's going to carry on his what he believes. Yeah, he'll have a game plan. He'll back his strengths. And the fact that you didn't try to do it, it just gives the wrong sign. Because
But do you think, but do you think, we're underestimating Pant? Because when he came out to bat today, he didn't play all these silly shots straight away. He actually took his time.
So what Pant did today, if you look at Pant's innings, he actually built his innings today. He took his time. He actually batted according to the situation.
He actually attacked after the new ball was taken.
Yeah. So which makes it even worse to not bring Leach on.
Yeah.
You understand? If he was attacking, you can understand, fair enough. But the fact that he didn't even bring him on straight away, it shows very, very sort of negative captaincy.
Very negative.
At the close of play yesterday, Bobo, we knew England was short of at least 100 runs.
Yeah.
The fact that you had India 140 for 6 potentially going into potentially England could have skittled India
one more wicket there, and you're looking
with
at
a lead,
180,
potentially with a lead.
190.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That at that time, okay, if after tea time, when if you bring Leach on, as a captain, you think if Pant hits 3 or 4 sixes, I don't mind as long as I get him out. So I'm willing to risk 20, 25 runs even. Now, for him not to risk that, and then when he takes a new ball, he's got tired fast bowlers, Pant's in, it's the perfect ingredients for disaster. Because someone like Stokes with his body, again, it comes down to poor thinking. They bowled him 10 overs in the first spell.
I mean,
you can't stand up. You can't stand up.
This may be irrelevant, but obviously, I don't know if you saw the LBW appeal before tea.
Very close.
It was pretty plump. Naked eye looked absolutely plump, Pant did. But obviously, the umpire's call came into play. But I think maybe Joe Root thought, okay, let's try a couple of more overs of Bess. Maybe, okay, the off-spin option wasn't a bad option. Maybe not both off-spinners should be bowling after tea. Maybe one of the off-spinners, fair enough. But Jack Lee should have definitely been on the other end.
Fine. Okay, so let's talk about Dom Bess now. Listen, this is a big test match going on at the moment. It's a decider in terms of England have a chance to level the series.
Yeah.
Now, do you think Joe Root has been showing too much sentiment in terms of he's thinking, or he's not thinking, but he's showing that, okay, I picked Dom Bess in this team now. I'm going to bowl him. And just to show everyone that, okay, I picked him, so I have to bowl him. Now, is there not a scenario where he should think, okay, I'm bowling better than Bess anyway, so I'll bowl his overs. And at the end of the game, I just want to win the game. And if Bess doesn't bowl his overs, fair enough. We'll just say, okay, he's not bowling well enough, so we didn't use him. This situation's turned into the game now. They've actually used him. He's bowled poorly. And it's kind of affected both now. His confidence is also down. And it's pretty much ruled him out the game now as well in terms of his poor bowling after tea. So what do you think? Do you reckon Root just, underappreciated the value of the runs he was giving away and should have been more ruthless and just said, I'm not going to use Dom Bess, even though I picked him?
You see, that's the thing, isn't it? When you're captain, you've got to take the moment. You've got to seize the moment,
Yeah.
and you can't just bowl a guy just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to be brutal. You've got to be ruthless sometimes.
Yeah.
Which Joe Root isn't. I honestly think that he's not the kind of captain that takes the bull by its horns.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
He's a
and
bit reactive and proactive. Yeah.
it is. I mean, I've seen a lot of England captains throughout my years. You've had Atherton, Hussain, Michael Vaughan. Okay, fair enough. Michael Vaughan had an amazing team.
Yeah.
There's no doubting that he had an amazing team in 05 and after that as well. But Nasser Hussain for me was probably England's best captain in the last 20 odd years, 30 odd years. He's the kind of captain that would have loved captaining today after having India for 140 for 6.
Yeah.
Whatever bowling options he's got, I'm sure he would have started off with Leach.
Yeah.
First up after tea, and definitely Anderson or Stokes.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. And I guess with Root's thinking, it's just naturally to him, isn't it? He's not that kind of captain. So you can't really say. I think in an essence, you can expect. We were expecting some mistakes from Root because under pressure he doesn't perform. As a captain, he doesn't perform well under pressure.
Yeah. So has it got to a stage now then? Obviously, Joe Root's got a fantastic record as captain because he's got a very good side and they're very strong at home, like a lot of the teams. So I know it sound a little bit controversial. So if you're going to the Ashes this winter, are you confident in Joe Root's going to be the best man to lead the team to get the best out of the players, or do you think that it's got to a stage now? Well, if they draw this game, it's going to be different. But has it got to a stage now where you think, okay, Joe Root's had enough games, we should be looking elsewhere, even though he has got a decent record, as I say?
Yeah, record. I mean, I've spoken to you about stats before as well. I mean, stats, okay, they don't show everything, do they? At the end of the day,
yeah,
he's been winning. He's been winning Test matches. Fair enough. He's won recently quite a lot of Test matches.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Sri Lanka, they're not the most best team right now.
Yeah.
Winning there, fair enough. They won comprehensively, but okay, it's just Sri Lanka right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we the team. Yeah.
At home, they are a very, very good team at home, England. But like I said, there's a lot of teams that are doing well at home anyway. So in the Ashes, I mean, I think with Joe Root, if you look at him statistically, when he wasn't captain, he was scoring a lot more runs.
Yeah.
I think mentally he can't cope with the pressure. When the going gets tough for Joe Root, he crumbles under pressure. You can tell by his personal performances, and it rubs off on his captaincy as well.
So what do you think? Okay, fair enough. We're both kind of agreeing on that page, but what we'll ask Battery this question then actually. In terms of alternatives for England, what are the realistic alternatives for England, Battery, as captain?
There isn't. That's the thing. The thing is, it's all good saying Joe Root, but the problem is he's not all three formats captain.
Yeah.
And he in the top sort of 7 or so, he's probably him and Stokes are probably the only two that can cement a position, because let's be honest, let's go down the batting order. So Sibley,
no.
Lawrence, Pope.
Burns was one they were talking about, but Burns at the moment finds himself outside the team.
The thing is, guys, the thing is,
realistically, it's all good. Look. See, the thing is with Joe Root, is he a very good captain in terms of the past English captains, the past sort of the current captains that are in the Test crop now? When you're comparing him to Kane Williamson, Virat Kohli to a certain extent. But let's say Kane Williamson, as an example, someone, we all look towards his captaincy in Tests. You know,
Yeah.
is he as on his level as batting wise? Yes, but as captaincy wise, he's far from it. But the problem is England have no other choice. The thing is, you can criticize certain aspects of his captaincy. Yes, that's a valid point. But the fact that England have no other alternative, the thing
They've
is
got
there is
no
no one.
alternative because
So-
if Ben, the next in line is Ben Stokes, he's the vice captain.
But
And
he's
you
a
don't want to
valuable player.
He's the, as I would like to say,
and you don't want to give him that extra burden.
So
He's the
he's the
basically,
best of a poor bunch. He's the best of a poor bunch.
so basically, yeah, what we're saying is he's captain by default because there's no other options.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, he's had some good test wins. We can't take everything, you know.
No, we're not
Look-
taking away, but we're just saying that after he's been captain for a long time now, what would you say about probably pushing 3 years now. Now, when you look at this team, fair enough, there's technical deficiencies within the 8 players themselves, but when you look at the team as a whole, I don't think England fans can say that Joe Root is getting the best out of the players that he has. Now,
No, I agree. I agree.
yeah,
I
and
agree. Even
there's
at
a
home,
question there.
and this is not just home or away. This is even at home. I always off air, I say to Faraz, I mean, Pakistan, for example, and if you look at test series, yes, you beat India, which was a good win at home, but just take Pakistan, for an example, who are not the test team that it was, but in the last 3 test series, you drew 2-2, 1-1, and won 1-0.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
that's quite, you know, in sort of what's that, 6.
And even that looked like a defeat. It was a great innings from Butler and that partnership between Butler and Wokes. That
So
kind
in
of got
3
him over the line.
series, you
Yeah.
won the last one 1-0. That's the only difference in tests in terms of you won ahead
Yeah.
of Pakistan at home as well.
Okay, just to finish his reporting then. So just presume now they lose this test match. Just presume for the moment. I know it's still a long way to go, and this is another big one. It might not happen, probably won't happen. But if they lose to India at home as well, do you reckon Root is safe going into the Ashes as captain? Do you reckon he's safe, or do you reckon there might be changes?
Thing is, guys, we England have gone down this route in the past as well, where in the Ashes they've gone with Freddie Flintoff as captain.
Oh, that didn't go well.
That didn't go exactly. That didn't go well, and I'm sure. Did they have Peterson on captain some Ashes
He
matches as
became
well?
Peterson for a few games. I think it's
So there you
2008.
go.
yeah, captain for a while.
And chopping and changing captaincy. I don't think for Ashes especially, which is a big series, chopping and changing for captaincy, I think is not good. The thing is with captaincy with Joe Root, it's all good when you're winning.
Yeah.
Captaincy gets scrutinized when you're losing, and and the camera's on you when you're losing, and the camera's on you and it asks you what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
Which under pressure, Joe Root is not a very good captain because of his selections.
Yeah.
And because of his decision making,
I think you have to question him on this. You're right. It's not just even sometimes. You know what? It's getting the bowling changes, but
exactly.
It's far from it in the sense that nowadays we know captains have a big influence on selection of the team, and if you can't get your team selection right, then you have to be held accountable. But in terms of losing to India, that would be a big loss at home.
Yeah.
That would be a big loss.
Massive,
Who else have they got this summer?
loss.
Who else have they got this summer?
I think
Pakistan?
I think it might be New
playing
Zealand.
one-day cricket. So I
Might
think
be
New
New
Zealand. They might
Zealand.
play New Zealand for 2 test matches.
So now that's
I think New
2
Zealand are coming.
series.
Yeah.
That's 2 series there that are tough, and that will see the difference. But if he loses those 2, he will be heavily under pressure. I can see him going to the Ashes, but if that doesn't turn out well, then I feel England will change the captain.
But,
after
yeah, that is normally a cycle anyway. Ashes normally are cycles for England captains, either good
The
or
Ashes
bad.
is the one that they judged on the most, I guess.
Yeah, but so just to finish then now, finish on the point. So as I said right at the start, actually, that India are 89, end of the day, 89 runs ahead, still 3 wickets to go. And these 2 obviously guys can play as well. Now, I'll come to you first, Faraz, in terms of, do you reckon 89 lead is already too much for England? If not, what do you think is going to be too much, like insurmountable? Like if it gets to 130, 140, what do you think?
For me, on this wicket is not looking as bad as the second test and the third test match.
Yeah.
Batting wise. So I think there is still runs to be scored on this wicket, but that lead is significant right now.
89.
And I honestly think that the lead is about, they probably could have gone max for 40-50 runs lead.
Yeah, okay. So you think it's already too much?
I think they're going to get about 100-120 runs lead. I reckon.
Yeah, and that's going to be too much, do you reckon, then? For England?
Which is gonna be too much at the end of the day. Yeah.
So finally, I'll end with you, Bertrand, in terms of prediction. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow in terms of, do you see?
The way I see this match, I was
Yeah.
50 offshore. I had it with 50 runs behind as what my prediction was.
Yeah.
I said 150 lead by the close of play. And I think a significant factor is as well the over rate. I don't know if they completed that over rate because there was
Oh,
significant.
they're poor. There was about 12.
Poor,
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel I can see 3 wickets in hand. Axar and Washington, who
Yeah.
you've not mentioned today, Bobo, has batted class.
No, Sundar, yeah.
That's
Sundar
very
is one of those actually. It's like, yeah, you're right. Thank you for reminding me that it's actually because our punt has gone like a bit unnoticed. It's a very small innings. He just held an end up, played smartly, and rotated strike. So yeah,
He was under a lot of pressure as well after the 2 ducks that he's had.
yeah. He
And-
looked a bit
and
fidgety
he-
at the start.
He's one
That
of
makes
those
it
guys,
worse.
Bobo.
So sorry to quick better. That makes it worse that after Don Best come out to bowl full tosses at him just to get him in.
Exactly.
But yeah, go back
Yeah.
to better one.
So this guy is one of those players, Bobo, that, and especially in Test match cricket, he bats and you don't think he's on that. And when you look up, you think, how the hell did he get to 20? And then he just builds and builds and builds. And without you knowing it, he's in the 30s and 40s. And he accumulates runs very well. His shot selection is very good. And he's a very neat and tidy player.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the problem with him is he's coming to an Indian team where you're looking at Ashwin and Jadeja. And if he
That's
come into
well
any other team in the world, people will be raving about him. But the
Yeah.
problem is he's got them to replace. I think he's a fantastic player. Honestly, bowling,
I
batting.
personally think he won't be touring to England, like which is a bit harsh.
I think he will tour. He will be in the squad.
I don't. They'll have to do. If they can't come to England with 4 spinners, so you're going to have
Exactly.
Jadeja, Ashwin, and Patel. They can't have 4 spinners, surely, on England tour.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to keep the
You never
seamers.
know. You never know if they make an issue. England might prepare spinning wickets for him.
Just to
Apparently,
quickly,
he's
so,
got
yeah.
a very.
Well,
I've got
do you know,
very good
as I said, we're nearly out of time. So, quick on to battery. Do you see any hope for England, or is this
My
it?
prediction,
Close?
as I said it, and then I'll let Fraz have the last one. My prediction, as I said it, I can 3 wickets in hand, Washington. I can see 89 lead. I can see India adding at least another 40 to 50 runs. So
Yeah.
that will take them to 140,
140.
150 lead.
Yeah.
If England bat extremely well, they'll probably get between 200 and 250,
Yeah.
which will leave India to chase around 100, maximum 110.
And maybe
which I
Don
can
Best
see-
can bowl them out to the last innings.
And I don't know about that, but I can see India. I will say to the Indian fans, please buy your day 4 tickets. But to those that want to go to day 5, no.
Okay, Patrick. Actually, I've actually got a feeling that this game could be very, very close to a conclusion tomorrow. Actually, that if India get the lead of 140, 150, and there's around about 60, 70 overs left in the day, I reckon that could be enough time for England to lose 6, 7, 8 wickets, and it could be
I
close
can
to
see
finish.
it on day 4. I can see it day 4. I don't know how long into
Remember
day
the
4.
demons, Patrick. Remember the demons are in England heads, not in the pitch.
There's too many demons in England's hands. Whether it's in Abu Dhabi when they were chasing 70, there's too many. The thing is, there's too many
That's another
demons.
matter. But thank
That's
you,
it,
Battery.
Fran.
Thank you, Battery. Thank you, Fraz, especially for joining us. Hopefully, we'll get you on again. Maybe even tomorrow. That might be the final say as well for the series. You never know. Or it
Can I have
might
my
be a
final
twist.
say for tomorrow, please?
It might be a twist as well. So,
Can we give
thank
Faraz
you.
the final say? Go on, Faraz.
What can you
Yeah,
say? at this point?
I think England are going to skittle them out tomorrow for
Yeah.
another 20 or 30 odd runs, hopefully.
Yeah.
You
Quick as
sure?
we
What
can.
if you declare? Well, carry on.
No.
I've done best ball in both ends.
quick as we can, skittle them out for about 100, 110 lead,
Yeah.
and then hopefully we can have a Joe Root masterclass again tomorrow.
Okay. Well, do
My
you mean
captaincy or
do you mean
batting?
the one from the first test or the one since then?
From the first test.
I like
Yeah,
it.
Root's a
Faraz is
fantastic
very
player.
optimistic.
So yeah, no, it's good to be optimistic. I suppose England fans are always like that. So thank you guys, and thank you for everyone watching as well. Again, comments, likes, whatever you call it, press the bell to subscribe, and yeah, and any comments are greatly appreciated. So yeah, we'll join you again tomorrow to see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be another great day's play. So thank you.